Check, check, 1, 2. That's going through. Is that going through? 1, 2. Yes, going through here.
If you want, you can lay in the torrent yourself. How are you?
Good evening. It's just gone 7 o'clock, so we'll make a start. Apologies for the late start. Welcome to this meeting of the Cabinet. My name is Councillor Shantanu Rajawat. I'm the leader of the Council and chair of this meeting. I'm joined around the table by my colleagues on Cabinet who will introduce themselves as they speak, as well as officers of the Council who, whilst not taking part in the decision-making process, are available on hand to answer any technical questions should they arise. Those in the audience, very warm welcome, and those watching online. There's a lot of very interesting items on the agenda, so hopefully you get something out of this evening's meeting. So we're going to get straight into it with agenda item 1, which is apologies for absence. Now, I've had apologies from Councillor Shivraj Garawal, Councillor Sue Sampson, and Councillor Peter Thompson, who has a standing invite, as well as Councillor C.R. Raza as the Chair of Overview and Scrutiny, who also has a standing invite. I think everyone else is here, so good. Members, are there any declarations of interest on any items in the agenda? Can't see anyone indicating. Any communications from members? No. Can I draw your attention to the monitoring officer's note on interests as well? Then move on to agenda item 2, which is the minutes of the meeting held on the 16th of December. Doesn't that seem like a lifetime ago? I'll take them page by page. I've got them starting at page 8, page 9, page 10, page 11, 12, 13, and 14. Can we agree those minutes?
Agreed.
Agreed. Thank you very much. Right, move on to the first substantive item on the agenda, which is the council tax base for 26-27. This is a report that Cabinet colleagues will be very aware of as we run into budget setting in March. One of the first key reports is to set the council tax base for 26-27. This is the number of bandy equivalent properties which will attract council tax. So this forms the basis of some of the calculations that you will see later on in the full budget report. It also makes an assumption on the number of dwellings, which is increasing, which is good to hear, as well as the collection rate, which is increasing as well. The assumed collection rate of 98.2, and on that point, I think my thanks to residents of the borough who do pay their council tax on time. It does really make a difference to our ability to raise income and therefore spend on core services as well. Those are all standards and formula based, and that's detailed within the report. I would like to draw members' attention to a really good piece of good news within the report. We are absolutely committed to all residents across the borough, but we have also been focusing on care leavers, and up until this report, council tax support, so a discount on the council tax is extended to care leavers up to the age of 21. I'm really delighted to announce that, subject to agreement this evening, we'll be extending that to the age of 25 when care leavers become official adults, in effect. I think that will give a lot of support to our care leavers as they chart their way through life and work, and be one less burden for them to worry about. And I think it's a really, really good news, and it's made possible by the fact that we have a really healthy council tax base and a really healthy collection rate that allows us to be able to really support those that need support the most. So with that, I will formally move the report. Councillor Bruce, are you going to second that?
Yeah, very happy to second and reserve my right to speak.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. It's now open for discussion. Councillor Chowdhury.
Thank you very much, Leader. Councillor Sami Chowdhury, Cabinet Member for Children's Education, Employment Skills. Really happy to see this report, particularly what you've spoken about as a lead member responsible for the care leavers. I'm very pleased that we have and we are extending 100% council tax relief for care leavers up to the age of 25, fully funded within the budget. This delivery on our corporate plan and our commitment to ensure that all young people and their families have access to the support, education, training, and employment they need to thrive. And extending this support for care leavers will help reduce structural inequality, recognizing that many cannot rely on their parents or family for financial support. And this is exactly the kind of difference a Labour administration can make. And we will always stand up for those who are most vulnerable. Thank you. And I'm really happy to support it.
Thank you, Councillor Chowdhury. Anyone else on this report? Councillor Bath.
Thank you. I just really want to echo what both you and Councillor Chowdhury have said around extending the support to care leavers. I think some of the feedback that we've had from care leavers over the years is that when they try and transition to independence, it's quite difficult for them to manage their own sort of, as you said, rent and etc. and housing costs and, the general living costs. So I think this would be really helpful. And I think it's obviously it's a really good step, but it's really important to be able to support care leavers, and I think this will really help in that situation. So yeah, really pleased to see this. Very, very pleased.
Thank you, Councillor Bath. Right, I can't see anyone else indicating. So the recommendations are 1, 2, and I should point out, in particular, recommendation 3, there is a statutory NNDR1 return, which we are delegating to the Executive Director for Finance and Resources to return by the 31st of January, which falls outside of the budget timetable. So that is also a standard recommendation. So with the recommendation 1, 2, and 3, can I see all those in favour? That is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Now I move on to agenda item 4, CCTV maintenance contract. Councillor Pritam Garewal.
Thank you, Leader. Councillor Pritam Garewal, Cabinet Member for Community Safety, Customer Experience and Enforcement. All right, I'm pleased to introduce this report, which covers new 4-year CCTV maintenance contract relating to our community safety, housing and traffic enforcement cameras. The contract includes routine servicing and repair of cameras, control of server rooms, remote sites, wireless network, and all associated equipment, as well as goods and services linked to the installation of new CCTV. Maintaining the council's CCTV system is a highly specialized function and requires technical expertise and dedicated resources. As the council does not have the in-house capacity to deliver the effectivity, we rely on external specialist providers to ensure the system remains operational, compliant, and fit for purpose. This approach supports service continuity, manages risk, and delivers value for money. We currently procure CCTV maintenance through a consortium with 3 other London boroughs, which allows us to benefit from economies of scale and avoid any operational gaps. Islington Council led the procurement of the new contract. The new contract will be awarded to the existing provider, Tyco. Retaining Tyco ensures a smooth transition, flexibility, and continuity of the strong working relationship. All consortium members satisfied that the contract represents good value for money. While the total cost of the contract has increased to 2.3 million over 4 years, this reflects inflationary pressures and the expansion of CCTV network, with additional cameras increasing maintenance requirement once warranty expires. So while I commend this report, I thank all the officers for their hard work. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you very much, Councillor Garewal. Councillor Bath, will you second?
Yeah, I'm happy to second it. And I'll just say a few words, actually, as I second. I mean, obviously, really important report in terms of maintaining our cameras. And we know from our residents that they talk a lot about safety, and tackling crime is a major concern, and it's really important to them. So it's really vital that we have our CCTV rolled cameras properly maintained. But I also wanted to note the progress that we've seen in the perceptions of crime, because obviously the perception of crime is a lot different to what it actually is, and it's good that we've seen an improvement in that. So I'm happy to support this report, and of course, the work of the community safety team to keep our borough safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bath. It's been moved and seconded. It's now open for discussion and debate. Councillor Dunn.
Thank you, Councillor Catherine Dunn, Cabinet Member for Climate, Environment and Transport. I'm very pleased to see this report. It's obviously really important that our cameras throughout the borough are kept up to date, are kept working and are maintained so that they can provide that safety that for our residents that they are there for. And it will, I think, hopefully this contract, renewed contract, will help to give people the confidence that we are doing the best that we can to improve the safety of the borough. We know there's been some very, very nasty incidents recently. They don't happen a lot, but when they do happen, it can be absolutely devastating for the community. And so this is just one tool, and of course all our work that we do with the police and with our community safety teams all contribute towards that. The vast majority of the cameras that we have are either on our housing estates or out there in the community, and the police have that direct link to be able to view what's happening, and hopefully they can prevent serious crimes, or at the very least help to catch perpetrators when things happen. So I'm very pleased to see this and glad that things are going to be kept in check and that we know our cameras will be working properly.
Thank you, Councillor Dunn. I can't see anyone else indicating. So we'll move to the vote on this. There is one recommendation in this report. Can I see all those in favour? That is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Right. Another important report leading up to the budget, the housing revenue account, dwelling rents and service charge for 26-27. In Councillor Sampson's absence, Councillor Bruce, will you move?
I will. Councillor Tom Bruce, Deputy Leader of the Council. Yes, in Councillor Sampson's absence, happy to move the recommendations here. We're looking at proposed changes to the rents and service charges and leaseholder charges for our properties across the borough, starting in April. The proposed increase in those are 4.8%, which is a CPI from September CPI plus 1%. Which is a standard government measure that, as part of the settlement that has been, the rent settlement has been agreed by government over the next 10 years, which we will take forward from this point. The government also undertaken a consultation on rent convergence, which is a separate issue, but brings back into line rents which have got slightly out of the limit, the threshold that they should be at over the last number of years, and looks at bringing them back in line. The government consulted on different proposals, essentially a £1, £2, £3 increase per week, where these are out of line. What the recommendations here that I'm asking you to support this evening is to support in principle the rent convergence, but on the lower end of that £1, and we're delegating that, or I'm asking for your support in delegating that to the Director of Housing in order to make that, once the government publish their full proposals on this here. As the leader said in introducing this as well, that this is forms part of the budget, part of the HRA business case that we will bring in February, but it isn't that, but it is an important aspect in order to ensure that we have a robust HRA and a robust budget, and that our tenants and our residents are getting the best service possible. So while an increase we know is always tricky, we should think of this in terms that this is about investing back into our estates, back into our properties, making sure that the services that our residents receive are as good as they can be. And also to point out that while there are some increases, there are also some decreases in some charges as well, particularly on heating, where residents are connected to a district heat network. And so the overall impact on quite a number of residents may actually be a reduction in what they're paying overall, with the increase in the service charge, and quite a significant decrease, in what they're paying on gas and electricity across some of our estates. So we support residents where we can. We think this is absolutely the right approach, and I move the recommendations.
Thank you, Councillor Bruce. I'll formally second and reserve my right to speak. It's now open for discussion and debate. Councillor Dunn.
Thank you. Yes, very happy to support the report. I think it gets the right balance between that, making sure that we have fair rent increases, or in some cases, and service charge, in some cases decreases for our residents, to make sure that they are getting the right service for the right price, and ensuring that we have that income that comes into our housing revenue account. Everything, all the money that comes into our housing revenue account is ring-fenced for housing, for maintaining and improving the condition of our council housing stock, and also, really importantly, for building new council homes. And so it's really important, just as important, that we get the management, the financial management of this account right, as we do our main general fund finances, whilst at the same time making sure that it is fair and right for residents.
Yep, completely agree. I cannot see anyone else indicating on this report. So we'll move to the recommendations. So there are recommendations 1.1 to 1.7. Can I see all those in favour? That is carried. Thank you very much. Councillor Bruce, I think we're staying with you for the really exciting Golden Mile investment framework.
We are. And yes, very, very exciting. I think this very much links with previous reports that have come through Cabinet, particularly our overarching business case for growth investment proposals, links directly with the Feltham investment framework that you very kindly moved and presented to Cabinet in my absence just before Christmas, and looks at another very key area of our borough. All the areas of our borough are very key, but the Golden Mile and the Great West Road area, especially important over the last 100 years for economic growth, commercial and industry. We celebrated 100 years of the Golden Mile last year. And I think beginning right at the beginning of this year, we are essentially here looking to the next 100 years. It's been an incredibly successful area of our borough, but I think we all recognise, whether you've been involved in business there or living nearby or just passing through, that it's time for it to move into its next phase. I have a personal connection with the Golden Mile. My family, some of my family lived there for many, many years, many decades, and my grandmother, grandfather, and great-grandfather all worked in businesses on the Golden Mile, Pyrene, Firestone, and Gillette. But I know if they were here now, they would recognise that that was the past, and it's good that we've been celebrating the past and looking at it and making sure we hold on to the important things there. But equally now, look to the future and look at what, in this case, the next 15 years looks like. But I think even further than that, and say the next 100 years of improvement on the Golden Mile. There's a lot of things happening already. But what this talks about is all the areas where we're seeking investment and seeking people to come with ideas. We want creative industries, we want homes, we want housing, we want jobs, and we detail in our investment framework how we're going to achieve that and the benefits that will bring, not just to the people that are there, but the people that are there, people that will be moving in, and the wider borough itself as well. I think it should be recognised, and the report absolutely recognises this, that while economic growth in our borough and in this area is very, very good, it could be better, but it also could be fairer. And it highlights the fact that there are pockets of deprivation in our borough. We know that. We know that very clearly from other reports that have come through Cabinet and Borough Council. But it talks to how we can make sure that those areas are included in this and the benefits that we seek from this. are benefits for those areas and the people that are living there as well. And I think that's incredibly important, and talks to not just a report on a page, but actually the values that we hold very dear as an administration. So there's an investment framework that has a lot of nice pictures and a lot of detail in it, but I would encourage people to even have a glance through and look at some of the things that might strike them from a personal capacity, whether that's you're someone living here already, whether you're someone who might want to move here, whether you're a business, whether you're a developer looking to invest, whatever your circumstance. We want to talk to you, and we want to continue that conversation about what this means and what this means to you. And while it does look, it's nice and glossy, but it has meaning as well. And I think getting into some of that detail would be important. So happy to move the recommendations, Leader.
Thank you, Councillor Bruce. I'll formally second it, and I'll say a few words. It's incredibly exciting. The future of the Golden Mile is really bright. It's different, but it's co-designed with people that are already there, developers already there, and residents that have a stake in the area as well. And I'm really glad you mentioned creative industries. It's a bit of a hub for creative industries. Was it 40% of all creative jobs in the UK exist? I think it's more than that. Is it 60%? Yeah. Exist within the Golden Mile, and that's a huge number. And so the challenge for us is making sure that those are creative jobs for local people as we go forward. And of course, none of this would be possible without connectivity. And of course, this does talk to the development of the West London Orbital, which is an important rail line that will link bits of Brent and Barnet into Hounslow through Old Oak, which will connect into central London as well. And it's really, really pleasing to see that partnership between all the West London boroughs, including Hounslow, is bearing fruit, but also that the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, is taking this seriously, an announcement around some major investment into the next phase of the development of that, which will really help unlock a lot of the work here and the connectivity that is absolutely required to make this successful and fair as well, and just. And finally, I guess we as a council have convened a developer forum which meets very, very regularly to talk about the future, and they're working through vision and all of that. But wasn't it great to see them leading the charge over Christmas with the Christmas lights that has suddenly become a destination along the Golden Mile, and long may that continue as well. And I guess from both of us and all of us around Cabinet, thanks to that forum for pulling everything together and making that possible. And we look forward to the same, if not more, this Christmas coming as well. So there is a lot of opportunity here. Of course, we need to get it right. We need to get it right for residents in the area, but also for the future of businesses that will likely exist on the Golden Mile going forward. So I'm really excited about the future, and I'm really grateful to you, Councillor Bruce, and the team for having the vision to bring this forward. I think it's a great document, very, very technical in parts, but it needs to be, but strategic and visionary as well. So that's me gushing about that, formally seconding it. It's now open for discussion and debate. Anybody? Councillor Dunn.
Thanks. Yes, it's the Golden Mile has obviously brought great benefits to our borough, and it's really important that we look to the future to make sure that we can regenerate, reinvigorate that, and ensure that those benefits continue into the future and change in the ways that they need to change along with our changing borough. It's also important to note that the environment around there itself is not always that conducive to a healthy and thriving borough. It can be quite a hostile environment. There's an acknowledgement that the A4 cuts some of our communities in two, and that in Brentford we see that particularly. So it's really important that as part of this, and I know it is written into the document, we look to improve that physical environment as well, acknowledging that people live there as well as work there, as Councillor Bruce has said, and that we look to improve things So it's good to see that there is a greening programme in here to make sure that that natural environment is softened and brought into the area. The transport links are really important so that we can improve that and have to rely less on road traffic, although it's always going to be a major road. But we have to look at how we can make that work for more people. Obviously, you mentioned the West London Orbital. I'd also mentioned the Brentford to Southall rail link that we're looking to reopen for passengers. So there's plenty of opportunity there, but we just remember it's not just about jobs. It's not just about building things. It's also about improving that environment and making it a pleasant and healthy place to live as well.
Absolutely concur with that, and it's an important consideration. Anyone else on this report? I can't see anyone else indicating. So the recommendations 1, 2, 3 within the report. Can I see all those in favour? That is carried unanimously. Good. Right, we now move on to another exciting report, an up-and-coming sport, paddle. Councillor Shaheen, tell us all about it.
Councillor Salman Shaheen, Cabinet Member for Culture, Leisure and Public Spaces. I'm very excited to be bringing forward Hounslow Leisure Centre's first ever paddle courts with this proposal in this paper. Paddle's one of the fastest growing sports in the country. It's very hugely popular, but we don't actually have any paddle courts in our leisure centres at the moment. So this is a proposal to do that for the first time. With this, we unlock 950k to build 6 new paddle courts, 3 in Isleworth and 3 in Hanworth. And I think it's an exciting opportunity for our residents because they'll have new ways to get fit and healthy in a way that they're going to enjoy. So I'm really pleased to be bringing this forward.
Thank you, Councillor Shaheen. Councillor Dunn, will you second?
Yes, I'll second it and just briefly say I think this is a good idea. I hear that paddle is a very popular sport. Never played it myself, but I gather that lots of people do want to play it, and we should make that available for our residents. I did ask some questions around the plans for Isleworth Leisure Centre. I'm pleased that we are retaining some of the tennis courts there, so it's not a case of one or the other, but about increasing the choice for residents.
I feel a cabinet away day coming on. Councillor Bath.
Thank you. I'm Councillor Lily Bath. I realise I didn't introduce myself. Councillor Lily Bath, Cabinet Member for Adult Social Care, Public Health and Health Integration. So putting on my health and wellbeing hat, obviously I absolutely support this. I think whatever we can do to increase the offer to our residents in terms of helping them to engage in health and wellbeing activities is always a really good thing. I too have never been paddleboarding, so I will participate, or sorry, what did I say? Paddleboard. Different else, yes. Yeah, okay, but you know what I mean. I haven't done it, so I welcome it, and I hope that it's really successful, because I do understand from people that apparently there's a real sort of ask for it. Yeah.
I think you might have identified the next sport that we go to as well. Well done, Councillor Bath. Anyone else on this? Councillor Pritembler.
Thank you. Like Councillor Bath said, it will strengthen our health and well-being priorities by increasing access to the inclusive physical activities and supporting mental resilience. And I hope you'll get some more in other parks as well.
Just the beginning.
Thank you.
It's only just begun. So good. Anyone else? No. Good. The recommendations on this report are 1 to 6. Can I see all those in favour? That is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Right, agenda item 8, an update on Brentford Fountain Leisure Centre. Councillor Bruce.
Yes, and linking very much with agenda item 6, we're starting the investment in the Golden Mile already.
Yay.
Within about 10 minutes. I'm really pleased to be bringing this forward today. We've invested, the Labour-run council over the last 10 to 12 years has invested in all our leisure centres across the borough, apart from in terms of either rebuilding or completely redoing inside. And although this has obviously had maintenance, this is one that hasn't had that so far. Really push into the 21st century, and I'm pleased to say this is the first step in us achieving that. It's going to be a long-term thing. This is not going to happen overnight, but incredibly exciting to think about the possibility of what could be really flagship leisure centre, a wet and dry leisure centre, right on the corner of the Golden Mile. What we're asking for here is some money in order to do a lot of work over the next year, looking at working up the proposals for exactly what would come forward as a planning submission in terms of the leisure centre, and our outline on the housing mix, the housing that would happen on the site. I'm sure the housing would, the idea of housing on the site will disappoint some people and excite other people. We do need housing in general in this borough, but we also need housing as part of the mix on this site in order to make this financially stack up. The report talks about a number of different options that has been considered as part of a huge amount of engagement over the last year or so. It shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that we're thinking about this. And people's feedback has been very clear that having a leisure centre and having a swimming pool, particularly as part of that leisure centre, is very, very important. And in order to make that work, having housing on part of the site is going to be important. So we've got broad outline options on a smaller leisure centre with a lot more housing that wouldn't cost the council any money, much larger leisure centre than we have at the moment with a small amount of housing, but financially that just doesn't stack up and we cannot make that economically work. So what we've got here is a far improved leisure centre or proposals for a far improved leisure centre than we have at the moment. Includes the swimming and the gym areas of the leisure centre that people have clearly asked for, as well as making sure that in terms of what we can afford as a council really stack up. So absolutely the optimised option is what we're going for here and looking to take forward over the next few months and years. So I'm very happy to move the recommendations as outlined in the report.
Thank you very much, Councillor Bruce. Councillor Shaheen, will you second?
Thank you very much, Leader. Thank you very much, Councillor Bruce. I second this report and will speak on it now, if I may. A moment ago, I was just talking about improvements at Isleworth and Hanworth leisure centres with the new paddle courts. We've just unlocked 950k in the last few minutes to make those improvements. And now, if we take forward this report, we'll be unlocking over 4 million for the next phase of the redevelopment of Brentford Fountain leisure centres. There's data splash the cash, but it's very important for us to do this. Where other councils have closed leisure centres in the face of austerity, we haven't. Not only have we kept all of ours open, but we are improving them as well. So we just talked about Isleworth and Hanworth. Now we're talking about Brentford Fountain Leisure Centre. And I want to thank the hundreds of residents who've engaged in the massive consultation exercise that we launched over the last few months. We've heard you loud and clear. Councillor Bruce talked about some of the many elements that are going. We're looking to put into that leisure centre. We've heard from residents. We know that they want a new pool, and it's going to be a better pool. It will be a pool with a flexible pool with movable floors, which will be able to encompass all ranges of activities. We know that people want better gym facilities, so we will have a new and better gym there. There'll be a new studio space, cafe, buggy park, lots of wonderful things in this new leisure centre, and I look forward to fully scoping all of this out as we bring it towards planning.
Good. It's been moved and seconded. Any other comments, discussion, questions on this one? No, again, I think this is a really positive report. I mean, I hadn't actually quite considered it that way. We spent a lot of money this evening, but it's money well spent, I think. And you're absolutely right, Councillor Shaheen, the engagement. It's not that we've done this onto the people of Brentford. People of Brentford have really spoken and we're responding to what they have told us. And that will lead to a leisure centre in the future that is better. And yes, of course, there will be housing that will enable some of the development here, and that's very, very important. We need both the leisure centre and the housing as part of that mix. we know the Brentford Fountain Leisure Centre, as it currently stands, is coming to the end of its life. It's led a good life, and it's been well used and well loved, and everyone will have a memory of it from far and wide, and that's worth cherishing. Those are important memories, but actually, in the context of talking about a renewed Golden Mile and the future of that, this is very much part of that journey, and part of Brentford's journey as well, and the fact that we really value Brentford as a place, as a town. It's absolutely right that we invest in it in the proper way. So I fully support this and look forward to seeing the proposals as they come forward. So if there's no one else on this, the recommendations on this report are 1, 2, and 3. Can I see all those in favour? That is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Right, agenda item 9 comes back to me, which is the LGA Corporate Peer Challenge Report and Action Plan. Now, for those of you that don't know, the LGA stands for the Local Government Association. It's an umbrella organisation that represents almost all local authorities, and we are members of it. As part of their offer to us, they obviously offer individual members training and support and development, but also the opportunity for councils to call in our peers across local government to come and look under the stones and open the filing cabinets and see what's inside, and offer their critical friendship in terms of the services we offer, and how we communicate, and how resilient we are as a organisation. And I think that is really, really important as a sector, that we are able to support each other. So it's really pleasing for our peer review in November to have 2 member peers attend, one from the Labour Party, one from the Conservative Party, in Councillor Mo Butt and Councillor Elizabeth Campbell, as well as the Chief Executive from somewhere outside of London, in this case Wigan, and a couple of officers as well, to look at what we were doing. And they spoke to a range of staff across the council, but also stakeholders externally, as well as residents and the voluntary sector as well. And this is not about them congratulating us. I firmly believe we are a good council, but getting that benchmarking is important. But it's also as important to know about areas of development in their opinion. They concluded, the peer team concluded over the week that they were here, that the council is performing strongly. They particularly highlighted effective political and officer leadership, which is good to see, sound governance arrangements, both in terms of what is written down, but actually how that is enacted, and financial resilience, especially in the context of a very challenging climate across local government as well. Now, as I said earlier, this is not about just congratulating us, it is about making recommendations. And whilst they did recognise significant strengths, the team did identify 9 areas for further development, and that was aimed predominantly at sustaining improvement and strengthening our impact as a local authority within this place, but also out there to our residents and voluntary sector and businesses as well. The 9 recommendations include improving communications on the council's financial position, refreshing the council's vision and transformation programme, strengthening community engagement and partnership working, sharpening the approach to tackling inequality, and promoting Hounslow's profile regionally and nationally. Now, those are all things that actually weren't things that we weren't that we were already aware of, but actually having their focus and their advice and their counsel was invaluable. And as part of that, we have developed an action plan which is contained within your report today. That action plan groups the activity into 3 broad work streams. So that's strengthening partnerships and community engagement. We have a very strong VCSE sector. What can we do more to strengthen that and make it more resilient? Improving internal coordination and clarity on transformation. Our transformation program is very broad. How can we be more focused on that? And I think that's especially important as we start thinking about what the next administration may want to do. And then delivering inclusive, sustainable growth and promoting Hounslow's story. And our story is a good one. We perhaps don't shout about it nearly as much as we could do, and that's a real focus for us. So what you'll see in the report is not only the peer team's report, but also our response to that in terms of the action plan. We will be monitoring that internally as a cabinet and as a council, and that's really important. And then there is a moment in time where the peer team will come back probably in November of this year to see how we've gone on and maybe perhaps close things off or make further recommendations as they see fit. So I do see this as a really positive report. I think it's the right time to do it. And I'm incredibly grateful for the LGA for having this offer, but also the peer team that came in and took time out of their schedules to come and support us as well. And with that, I formally move the report. Councillor Bruce, will you second?
Yeah, happy to second this and just say a few words now. Just to echo what you said about the team that came in, incredibly engaged with everything that was happening across our borough, really wanted to talk to our residents, officers, community groups, find out what was going on, look for the good stuff and find out where we were doing things incredibly well, but giving us some really robust and honest feedback and very helpful in moving this organisation forward into the next phase. I think very timely for moving into a new administration and giving them a real sense of where we are and where we need to be going in many different areas. So yeah, really great thanks to them to doing it. And Councillor Mo Butt did it came in at the last minute with a day's notice as well, which is a testament to, I think, that really positive relationship that we have with other authorities and the organisation, the LGA generally, that it meant that people felt that was something they wanted to do and to come in and support us and challenge us in a very constructive way. So yeah, good, very positive report.
Thank you, Councillor Bruce. It's been moved and seconded. It's now for discussion. Councillor Bath.
Thank you. Yeah, I did read through the report and I did find it very positive. And actually, I believe is this the first time we've had a peer challenge? Second time, right? Okay. A long time ago. So I think it was a really good step to do it. And I know you said that it's not just about congratulating ourselves, leader, but actually it's reassuring to see some of the stuff that they've written, particularly around financial resilience, because we are in a difficult time. And I think if we get that reassurance that we're going in the right direction, then we can use that plan, the action plan, to actually build on some of the stuff that we're doing. So for me, I found it quite reassuring. And actually some of the things that we were thinking, so for example around sort of capacity building in the third sector and how we can use that has come to light in this report. So I think it's been it was a really good thing to do, to give us a little reassurance and have an external scrutiny about what we are doing. So in that sense, yeah, really welcome it.
Thank you, Councillor Bath. Councillor Ajmer Garawal.
Thank you. Councillor Ajmer Garawal, Cabinet Member for Resident Sport, Communities and Equalities. And as you say, the corporate peer review team highlighted real progress and strong foundations across many areas of work within my portfolio. And I just want to commend officers for their dedication and hard work. The peer review team were particularly impressed by our strong commitment to our equality, diversity and inclusion strategy, and by the action already underway to help shape a better and more equitable Hounslow. In relation to our work to overall consultation and engagement, the team noted our clear determination to mainstream residents' voices, ensuring that our decisions and services are genuinely co-produced by residents we serve. Just as importantly, the peer review team recognized our support for our thriving voluntary community and social enterprise sector and our role in creating an enabling environment, including through investment with our VCSE infrastructure. These observations demonstrate that we are serious about our fairness, partnership, and putting communities at the heart of everything we do. Finally, we are on a constant evolving journey and we remain committed to strengthening our work further by delivering on the team's recommendations and action points we have committed to in response. Thank you.
I think the phrase they used was pass on the power. Show us what that looks like, doesn't it? Yeah, good. Anyone else on this Okay, so the recommendations are 1, 2, and 3 on this. Can I see all those in favour? That is carried. Thank you very much. Right, final substantive item, registered provider small sites programme. Councillor Bruce.
Yeah, thank you very much. This just asks Cabinet to agree to continue our small sites programme. We have a number of these schemes that have happened and are currently happening in the borough at the moment. This is a further 6 council garage sites that we're looking to dispose of to a registered provider. That is the technical word, but essentially for the registered provider to build up these. And it will give us 100% nomination rights for people from our housing register to go and live in these homes once they are built. This has been incredibly successful across the borough, delivering in the last few years 150 homes in various shapes and sizes, quite a number being accessible, fully accessible or adaptable, which is something that we desperately need for a number of people on our housing register. So it looks at those 6 garage sites as well as the site at Clements Court, which on 2 of the plots we have developed already, but it's become challenging in terms of being able to do this ourselves. So looking to again pass this on to a registered provider that will build this out and again provide us with 100% nomination rights in order to house the residents directly from our housing list. So really good news story and continues that good work that has been happening over the last few years. People think of developments as being, big tower blocks and lots of units, but we're talking in a number of these cases 6 or 8 or 12 units on quite a small plot, but actually really high quality homes and a fantastic use of space on underused spaces in our borough. So I move the report.
Thank you very much, Councillor Bruce. I will formally second it and just say a few words, echoing exactly what you said, Councillor Bruce. We've been really successful in our small sites, and I guess one of the results of the pandemic and everything that followed after that is this came to a little bit of a halt, didn't it? And it's great to see that there is confidence returning and that we are able to start marketing these sites as well. And just to labour the point a little bit, perhaps, these are underused garage sites. They're not being used. So what better way to use them than to provide housing, especially adapted housing for those with disabilities as well, supporting some of our most vulnerable. And having that nomination right will really help the housing waiting list as well. So it ticks a number of boxes, but it also on those estates, we've all experienced it when we're walking around estates. People go, those garages, they're underused, they're antisocial behavior is happening there. Actually, why don't we regenerate them and make the whole estate look a lot better as well? So really, really great to see this coming forward as I second it. So it's open for discussion and debate. Anybody on this? I think it's incredibly positive. So let's go straight to the vote. 1 and 2, A, B, and C. Can I see all those in favour? That is carried. Thank you very much. I've not had any referrals from any other council committees. Councillor Bruce has notified me of 1 urgent business, which I will accept. Councillor Bruce.
Thank you. No, my apologies. I should have said it under communications at the beginning of the agenda, and I forgot. Simply to say, I've brought a number of elements of our local plan to Cabinet as well as to Borough Council. I just wanted to update members that the examination in public that I talked a long time about that would be happening is currently happening. Well, was happening last week and will happen next week up here on the 6th floor in Hounslow House. 2 inspectors have been here. We're here Tuesday to Friday. And I was in for different periods of time at 3 different occasions. Very robust questions to various stakeholders as well as our officers. That will continue next week. People are welcome to attend, can just come in and watch. A lot of it is very technical. A lot of it did go over my head, but I'm glad the officers obviously were here and able to answer questions. So I wanted to highlight another significant step, another significant milestone in hopefully getting to adoption of our local plan in the next few months, few weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bruce. And I guess on behalf of Cabinet, can I put on record our thanks to the officers and stakeholders who have contributed, but also the inspectors who are doing a very diligent job by the sound of it. Good. Can someone move exclusion of press and public? Councillor Chowdhury, seconded by Councillor Bath. Is that agreed? So at this point, members of the public watching online, thank you very much for joining us, and bid you a good evening. And any members of the public in the audience can now leave. Thank you all very much. Yes.
Can I ask Cabinet members, while you're all in the room and we're in private, the meeting in March?
Yeah, it'll have to be on the 19th because both of us are away. So yeah, let's keep it on the 19th.